Part 292. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2911. Kill. Fang Fan gritted his teeth and directly controlled the giant demon to attack. There is no longer any delay. It's time to get on. The leader of the Man in Black looked more or less confused at the moment. His bewildered eyes glanced around, his gnashing of teeth was vividly displayed, and his eyes couldn't help but seem a little scattered. This is different from what he expected, the difference is too much. How could this be the case? My combat power, why did my combat power suddenly drop so much? It's like an instant thing. No. Impossible, there must be something wrong with it, it can't be like this. Suddenly lowering the combat power of a supreme saint, this is definitely not something that anyone can do. Even those so-called demigods don't have this ability. Then my combat strength has indeed dropped at this moment. Who is secretly controlling all this? Damn. There must be tricks in it. Could it be that the true God ended up in person? Wuji, the leader of the Man in Black, licked his lips, thinking to himself. The sound of his breathing became extremely rapid, and then he glanced around with a slightly frightened gaze. His facial expression appeared very complicated. The unknown is the most frightening thing. Especially at this moment, no one knows when the accident will come. Since meeting this kid, weird things have happened one after another. Damn. Could it be that these are all blindfolds? I was deceived by this kid. Huh. It's not impossible. If this is the case, this kid's scheming is too deep. No. You must kill this kid early, or I will go crazy. It's been like this, I can't stand it. Die. Wuji, the leader of the Man in Black, wriggled his lips, thinking to himself, and then Senran's killing intent was completely revealed. Followed by his speed getting faster and faster, the gleam in his eyes gradually became extremely sharp. The mind gathers here, and the mind explodes in an all-round way. Let it all explode. At the moment of the outbreak, no one can stop it. This is the wave of death charge. The timing is right. Seeing Wuji, the leader of the Man in Black, rushing over, Fang Fan's eyes lit up, and then he tried his best to control the giant demon and killed him directly. The leader of the Man in Black still wanted to use the old routine before. He was hit by this giant demon at random, and then he went straight to kill Fang Fan. It can only be said that the leader of the Man in Black at this moment is indeed a little naive. Naively thought it was still too late. Fang Fan squinted his eyes, and the coldness on his face became more involuntary, the gesture of gnashing his teeth was vividly displayed, and the sound of breathing became extremely rapid. Let it all explode. Clang. Boom. The leader of the Man in Black collided with the giant demon again. The giant sky demon grabbed the weapon of the Man in Black with both hands, then tore it in half with a tyrannical gesture, then continued to stab forward, and slapped the Man in Black on the chest of the man's leader with a slap. Puff. Immediately, the head of the Man in Black spit out a mouthful of blood from his collar, followed by his body trembling violently, his eyes trembling involuntarily, his whole mentality has completely collapsed. What else can I say at this moment? Everything has already been decided here. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2912. How come? How could it be so strong? When did you become so powerful? No. Not right. There is a problem here. There must be a problem. It shouldn't be like this, it's so different from before, so different. The roar followed, and the face of the leader of the Man in Black immediately became extremely ugly. While he was talking, he wanted to scream like crazy. At this moment, there was a huge wound on his chest, and blood was gurgling from the corner of his mouth. He was seriously injured. With just one move, he became like this. The gap is self-evident. When did the gap become so big? The head of the man in black had a cold face, and his facial expression gradually began to tear. Just when he was feeling extremely angry, the giant demon continued to stab forward and attacked his position again without any delay. Roll. Go away. Come here. Come. Protect me. Come and protect this seed. Stop this demon. Wuji, the leader of the man in black, glanced around, and now he thought of his subordinates. With just a glance, the men in black under his hands have basically been killed. Even if there are still a few scattered, they are basically powerless to parry. Now that I can't even save my own life, I can still say a hammer. It's cold, everything will be colder than this. You come here. Wuji, the leader of the man in black, saw Zujdun, the saint of the third-class temple of the Alliance of Light, and immediately roared angrily. Now as long as it is for the dead ghost, it can be directly involved, this is inevitable. Thinking of this, the whole person became excited and excited. Thoughts are gathered here, and the facial expression changes are very real. At this moment, there must be no slack in the slightest, all energy must be stabilized here. I'll come over. Am I going to die? Zujdun, the third-class saint of the Light Alliance temple in Qingtian Sanctuary, licked his lips, and then followed up with a complaint. Now that I can't even save my dog's life, what can I say with a hammer? Liang Jiao practiced for you to the end, probably that's what happened. It's true to be steady, everything else is bullshit. If this is the case, don't follow up with those who have something or nothing. At this moment, Zujdun, the third-class saint of the Light Alliance temple in Qingtian Sanctuary, is also considering his retreat. He watched the changing situation helplessly, and his mentality was a little broken at the moment. No matter what, he never imagined that Lord Wuji, whom he worshipped like a god, would collapse like this. This is the Holy Venerable, and it is also the supreme existence of the Supreme Holy Venerable Realm. It's so cold now. Needless to say anything else, the facial expression has completely changed. Asshole. I asked you to come here. When is it your turn to talk nonsense? Come here quickly. Help me. This seat will not treat you badly. Wuji, the leader of the man in black, fled quickly, at a faster and faster speed, and the frightened expression on his face also increased. Now he is directly approaching the position of Zujdun, the third-class saint of the Light Alliance temple in the Qingtian Sanctuary, just to let Zujdun act as a shield for him. But it is obvious that Zujdun, the third-class saint of the Light Alliance temple in the Qingtian Sanctuary, is not willing at all. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2913. In other words, he had already seen it through. In this situation, you can still look at the hammer, that's what it is. With a glance at the past, all the thoughts in my heart are basically in place. Damn it, get out of the way, get out of the way. What are you doing with me? I don't want to die with you. Damn it, get out. Get out. Hateful. Extremely hateful. I thought I hugged my thigh, so that's what happened. Aren't you bragging that you are a messenger sent by the true God? Is this the means? Go over, I'm convinced. Whirring. The mentality can't collapse. Damn bastard. Zujdun, the third-rank saint of the Light Alliance temple in Qingtian Sanctuary, was fleeing faster and faster. Seeing that the leader of the man in black insisted on following him, he was also full of helplessness. In this situation, it is not bad to save a dog's life. Roar. Behind him, the giant sky demon roared, and his facial expression gradually became extremely ferocious. At this moment, the consciousness of this giant demon is colliding with Fang Fan's mental power crazily. Obviously, he doesn't want to be restrained by Fang Fan yet. However, Fang Fan's rage god's finger had bruised his consciousness before, so he didn't dare to resist too much at this moment. So I can only use this tyrannical roar. Die! Die! Roar! The roar came, and the surrounding space was completely compressed. Escape! I must escape! Whirring whirring! I can't die, and I don't want to die either. Stop this demon! Stop this monster! The leader of the Man in Black roared at the few remaining men in black, and his facial expression changed so realistically at this moment. In the face of death, no one can remain calm. He wanted to hold Zujdun, the third-class saint of the Light Alliance temple in Qingtian Sanctuary, as his shield, but Zujdun's speed was too fast, and he disappeared in a flash. Wuji, the leader of the Man in Black, is already seriously injured at this moment. He tried every means to escape, but it was obviously all useless efforts. Everything will follow. The oppressive feeling of death hit him, inexplicably causing him a sense of endless panic in his mind. Thoughts gather here, and the whole person becomes erratic. The attack of the giant demon is approaching. Getting closer. It seems that a slap can directly smash it into powder. The sense of panic and anxiety in my heart hit, and there was a burst of panic will inexplicably. Don't. I am the messenger of the God of Destruction. The God of Destruction sent me. If you kill me, you will definitely be targeted by the God of Destruction. The God of Destruction will definitely send stronger existences to chase you down. Let me go, let me go. I can plead with the God of Destruction to let you go. Let me go. Ah! Wuji, the leader of the Man in Black, let out a series of violent roars, as if he was about to gather the crazy will in his heart in an instant. At this moment, he kept roaring, his eyes widened, and his thoughts were endlessly crushed. I can't stand it, I can't stand it at all. The giant demon's attack finally came. After bursts of panicked roars, everything was silent. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2914. The end is the best choice at the moment. As for the other ones, they will all come to an end. Died. Really dead. Even the existence of the Supreme Saint realm like Master Wuji has been killed. Whirring. What did this Fang Fan experience in Guangming Academy, and he became so powerful at this moment? Who can match it? Extremely powerful. If I knew this earlier, I shouldn't have rushed over. Now while their attention is focused on that bastard Wuji, I still have the hope of escaping. Gudong. Zujdun, the third-class saint of the Light Alliance temple in the Qingtian Sanctuary, licked his lips subconsciously, thinking to himself, his steps couldn't help but quicken. While talking at the moment, the sound of breathing could not help but become rapid. After speaking, his eyes flickered towards the surroundings subconsciously. Then he found a hidden location and quietly rushed over. After confirming that the leader of the black-clothed man in the Supreme Saint realm was dead, Fang Fan took a deep breath, and then wriggled his lips. The sound of breathing became rapid, and his facial expression gradually changed. The thoughts in my heart gathered here, and my eyes couldn't help but become erratic. Too tired. At this moment, Fang Fan only felt that his consciousness was in chaos. In order to kill the leader of the Man in Black before, Fang Fan's mental power has been operating at overload all the time. Now watching the leader of the Man in Black being killed, a big stone in Fang Fan's heart fell, followed by his whole body relaxing. After his consciousness relaxed, his eyes couldn't help but become erratic. The mental strength that was originally tense suddenly relaxed, and immediately followed up with a full backlash. Puff. Fang Fan turned pale, and then spit out a mouthful of blood. His body shook immediately, the cold sweat on his forehead grew more and more, and the feeling of nausea deep in his heart also followed. After Fang Fan's mental power collapsed, the giant demon that was originally under control completely lost control. Roar. Damn kid. How dare you manipulate this demon master? Die. The giant sky demon flipped violently several times in the air, and then rushed towards Fang Fan's position. This giant heavenly demon is the existence of the supreme holy state. If he is thrown at the edge, with Fang Fan's current physique, it is basically considered cold. The gap can be imagined. Even mentality is all cool. Deep down in my heart, I can't stabilize, everything is just bullshit. At this moment, Bai Piao just flew back from a distance. Just now, he blocked the attack of the leader of the man in black for Fang Fan, and was thrown hundreds of miles away. After finally running back, I saw the giant demon of the Supreme Holy State staring at Fang Fan again. Cao. Fang Fan boy, can you calm down? You kid, if you don't torment this god envoy to death, you won't give up. Hiss, so terrifying. I'll hum it. Scary, so humming scary. Fang Fan, don't get too excited. Fang Fan boy. You are so humming steady. Bai Piao yelled a few times cursing, and then without delay, he rushed to Fang Fan without hesitation, apparently to block this wave of attacks for Fang Fan. Divine System of the strongest card supplier in the end times, Doomsday strongest card supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2915. My head, my head. Fang Fan wriggled his lips, and then let out roars one after another. His eyes had become extremely blood red, and his thoughts also rushed all over the place. At this moment, I really feel like 10,000 grass mud horses are galloping past my mind. This feeling seems too real. Fang Fan licked his lips, and then exhaled a foul breath. Mentally I can't help it. The fist of the giant demon directly smashed down. Boom. Bai Piao stubbornly resisted this wave of attacks. Immediately, Bai Piao's body spun rapidly in the air, and then flew towards the distant starry sky. Boy Fang Fan. It's the second time. Remember it. In the future, you must help me open the gamble at least twice. You must help me earn at least 2 trillion star cores. Whoosh whoosh. In the blink of an eye, Bai Piao's body disappeared without a trace. I glanced over and couldn't see anything. The end is the best state of the moment. Roar. G. G. Hateful ants. It's time to die now. The giant demon opened its bloody mouth, then stretched out its fist again, ready to hit Fang Fan's body again. Fang Fan's ability to perceive the outside world is very poor now. It is not impossible to say that it is in a vegetative state at this moment. Now there is no subconscious dodge. If Fang Fan is conscious, he can go to the small world of Shushan Pavilion to hide for a while. But it's too late to say anything now. Fang Fan. Don't want. Murong Yu flew over from a distance, and then let out a hoarse roar. Murong Yu's speed exceeded the limit. It's just that she is too far away from where Fang Fan is. Husband. Ymir also saw Fang Fan's danger on the snow crystal plain, and rushed towards Fang Fan's place regardless of everything. Behind Ymir, there are many members of the imperial palace. Some of them want to save their husband and master, and some want to save their master. The speed is extremely fast. As if to completely destroy everything in front of him. This time the thoughts gathered here, the whole person galloped up, and the sound of breathing also became extremely rapid. Needless to say the rest for the time being, this time the thoughts gathered here, the mentality has collapsed, completely collapsed. At this moment, there is quite a feeling of futility. What to yell, It seems that I can't yell anymore, I can only remain speechless at this moment, that's all. Everything else is the best prelude to the end. There was a look of despair on everyone's face, as if they had seen the tragedy happening before them. The giant heavenly demon's fist was only decimeters away from Fang Fan's position. Ah! The giant demon suddenly roared. Don't! Get out! Get out! Damn it! Bastard! Why do you want to do this? Get out! Don't lean in! Get out! Who is it? Who is pulling the demon lord? This demon lord won't leave. This demon lord doesn't want to leave yet. A crazy rotating black hole suddenly appeared above the giant celestial demon's head, and there seemed to be endless vortex power in the black hole, pulling the giant celestial demon into it. Even if the giant celestial demon is doing crazy resistance and tossing, it will not help. At this moment, it can only be pulled in by the black hole little by little, and gradually disappear into the invisible. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2916. Everything, End. Fang Fan's body fell rapidly in the air, and then fell to the ground. His face was already as white as paper. Fang Fan took a deep breath, feeling the sharp tingling pain from his chest. Fang Fan subconsciously took a deep breath, and his facial expression changed very real at this moment. Thinking to himself, the posture of gnashing his teeth was revealed, and his eyes could not help but shrink completely. Needless to say anything else for the time being, the pain in my heart has gathered in an all-round way this time. Everyone flocked directly towards Fang Fan's position, wanting to see Fang Fan's situation at the moment. The previous situations were indeed too dangerous. Fang Fan had saved his life this time, and it just so happened that the giant demon's summoning time had come, and he was forcibly summoned back. If he was allowed to stay for a few more seconds, Fang Fan might be crushed into powder. Fang Fan, how are you? You answer me, you talk. Don't scare me. What happened to you? This is a healing elixir, take it quickly. Quick. The anxious look on Mirangyu's face was beyond words, and while he was talking, his lips couldn't help trembling. At this moment, he took a deep breath, and the facial expression changed very realistically. Immediately afterwards, he quickly swallowed his saliva, and his whole body became trembling. Needless to say the rest for the time being, the attitude has gathered here, and the mentality has completely collapsed. In Mirangyu's gaze, there was only worry and fear. Husband. Ymir rushed over from the side, and then put her hands on Fang Fan's body, with endless worry in her eyes. Everything looks the best. I'm fine. Don't press me. Cough, 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 I can't breathe. Fang Fan exhaled, and then secretly used a healing card for himself. Although the healing card can't make up for the shortfall in mental strength, at least it can make him calm down a little bit. Fang Fan exhaled a turbid breath, thinking to himself, the gleam in his eyes involuntarily increased. At this moment, he gritted his teeth subconsciously, and his facial expression changed very realistically. It seems that when you use your mental power in the future, you really have to be more steady. Almost really cold. Fang Fan stretched his waist, feeling exhausted all over his body, and Fang Fan's brows also furrowed quickly. At this moment, thinking secretly in my heart, the gesture of gnashing my teeth is vividly displayed. Needless to say the rest for the time being, it is probably such a feeling that the idea is in place this time. Although Fang Fan's spiritual power far exceeds that of practitioners of the same level, he is still immature after all. After all, Fang Fan's current cultivation is only in the middle of the 2-star sanctuary realm. It has to be said that it seems a bit crazy to use the spiritual power of the middle 2-star sanctuary to control a supreme saint. And it turns out that all the madness comes with a price. Fang Fan felt the bones all over his body moving, and the firmness on his face involuntarily increased. "Husband, are you all right? You're not dead. Woo 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 woo." Ymir threw herself into Fang Fan's arms, and then started to cry presumptuously. She was under too much pressure just now. At that time, she even thought about staying with Fang Fan but forgetting her life. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2917. Following Ymir's yelling, a series of excited roars followed. Familiar faces appeared in front of my eyes. Kailan, Yun Yun, Chen Tianqi, Chen Tianshan, Zhang Ao. Feeling the soft fragrance of nephrite in his arms, Fang Fan gradually became addicted. That's the feeling, it's so real. Murong Yu on the side stood there awkwardly. At the moment he took a look at Hong Fatyanshao beside Fang Fan, for some reason, he always felt uncomfortable. Especially after seeing Fang Fan's doting eyes on Ymir, he felt a little bit hungry. Although Xiangfei, Xiao Liyulai and Lu Jiyi shared Fang Fan with him in Guangming Academy, there was no sense of crisis at that time. Murong Yu always felt that he was unique and excellent beside Fang Fan. This is true both in temperament and manner. But in Ymir, she saw the temperament of being a housewife. It seems that everything can slowly blend into it. That feeling, clear and real. Thinking up to this point, I couldn't help but raise my eyes subconsciously, and the facial expression changed very realistically. Cough. I'm fine. Whatever, don't be sad. Isn't this all over? What's wrong with you? Have you been in a daze? Fang Fan's gaze focused on Murong Yu, and he couldn't help but ask one more question. Because he found that Murong Yu really didn't fit in well here. After all, it's the first time I've come here, and I'm not very familiar with all aspects of it. It's actually very normal to have some sense of restraint to a certain extent. It would be weird if you didn't feel anything at all. Fang Fan licked his lips, thinking to himself, his eyes turned subconsciously, he mainly wanted to bring Murong Yu back to his normal rhythm. I'm fine. Just thought of something. Go on, don't worry about me. Murong Yu said incredulously. At this moment, his heart is naturally not as open-minded as it appears on the surface. It's just that I don't want to show it like this at the moment. In other words, there are still many messy thoughts gathering deep in my heart, and I feel a little melancholy in my heart. You are Sister Murong. Before, my husband sent back some news, saying that he was in the academy, and you have been taking care of him all the time. Thank you, Sister Murong. Sister Murong, although our big family has a little more members, we get along very well, so everyone should be more casual and don't be too restrictive. Ymir smiled calmly, and while talking, she nodded silently at the side, showing her thoughts and ideas. Anyway, what was shown from beginning to end was such a pure and true attitude. Seeing Ymir take the initiative to talk, Murong Yu's sense of restraint was indeed a lot less. At least he was able to follow up with a few more words. He doesn't need me to take care of him. It's not that you don't understand this guy, he's always a troublemaker, and even in the school, you don't know how many girls from good families have caused trouble. Murong Yu glared at Fang Fan, then rolled his eyes and complained. The frequently used words are also particularly sharp. What is misfortune? I don't know how many girls from good families. Makes me feel like a rascal. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2918. Seeing what Murong Yu said, Ymir and all the girls immediately attacked Fang Fan. Husband is still committing an old problem. Anyway, if you go out for a trip, you will definitely have to toss a few times back. Yun Yun groaned twice, then followed up with annoyance, then walked over and hugged Fang Fan's arm. The sweetness on her face couldn't help showing. This guy has bad thoughts all the time. He hasn't taken us with him all this time. I'm afraid he has these small thoughts hidden in his heart. It seems that the sisters have indulged him too much and didn't make him subdue him properly. Humph. Don't let him run away this time, let him know the fate of provoking so many women. Ymir gritted her teeth, while talking, then said secretly from the side, what she said really seemed to be the case. Anyway, the performance is very excited and surging. On the whole, it is probably such a pure appearance. Why? The point is, every time it seems like we are being dealt with miserably. Karen shrugged, and then spoke the truth. Where is Fang Fan's special combat power? Who will compete with him? This attracts bees and butterflies outside, and it also requires a certain amount of capital. What does it mean that the red flag at home does not fall, but the colorful flags flutter outside? Is it really that easy to do this? All of this requires some sacrifices. Others don't need to say much for the time being, the feelings are basically in place. In fact, that is the case, pure and real. For it. It seems to be true. Ymir bit her red lip, then couldn't help but glared at Fang Fan viciously, as if she was still complaining about why Fang Fan's ability in that area was so strong. Fang Fan shrugged innocently. He had some talents that ordinary people could not match. Fang Fan's roots are basically good, and later he fused some special bloodlines to make him even stronger, and then activated a brand new female slave position effect, which directly increased his special ability by 10 times. Not just resilience, but persistence. All in all, it's heart-piercing. In the blink of an eye, the frolicking here is quite unique. Boy Fang Fan. Boy Fang Fan. You kid is not human. My envoy will block your fist at the risk of your bones falling apart, and you won't go to me. You don't know where that big guy punched me and flew me away. Damn it, this is the strongest blow I've ever experienced. It's fine if you don't come to me, kid, but you're still here talking about love. Hey, people's hearts are not old. People's hearts are not old. Fang Fan boy, you have changed, you have changed. Why did it become like this? It's not the same as before. Fang Fan boy, something is wrong with you. Bai Biao dashed over from the side, talking, and then complained all over, and then roared twice, expressing that his trip was too difficult. Seeing Bai Biao rushing towards him, Fang Fan originally wanted to express a wave of gratitude in his heart, but for some reason, seeing Bai Biao like this, he couldn't help but want to laugh out loud. This guy is really happy. A glance at the past is completely in a state of joy. Fang Fan took a deep breath, wondering why those words of gratitude couldn't be said to Bai Biao. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2919. To this guy, a few words of scolding seems to make my heart feel happy. Fang Fan opened his mouth, looking rather helpless. Piss off. Stay well. Use these healing cards. If there's anything wrong, tell me. Fang Fan curled his lips, and then said in a tone of sarcasm. After saying this, my heart became much more carefree. Fang Fan was deeply moved, his eyes subconsciously glanced around, and his facial expression changed very realistically. Just as Fang Fan was thinking, a figure flew over from afar again. Brother Fang Fan. Ha ha. Ha ha ha. It's really you. I got the news that you are back. I thought I was cheated. Gradually, a distant figure gradually appeared in front of Fang Fan, and Fang Fan suddenly followed his eyes. Brother Dongguo. Fang Fan raised his eyebrows, and the excitement on his face was beyond words. The person in front of him is obviously Dong Qiushuo, the third-class saint of the Light Alliance Temple in Qingtian Sanctuary. Fang Fan and Fang Fan had worshipped each other before, and they seemed quite familiar with each other. Looking at each other at this moment, the smiles on their faces couldn't help but increase. At this moment, Dong Qiushuo is still holding a person. Hey, when I stopped by just now, I found this guy running away, so I brought him here by the way. Dong Qiushuo shrugged, and then threw the person in his hand to the ground. Looking at it, it was obvious that Zujdun, the third-class saint of the Light Alliance Temple in Qingtian Sanctuary. At this moment, this guy no longer had the arrogance he had before, and he was completely sluggish, shrinking his head from time to time, and the panic on his face was beyond words. Fang Fan acts as the cardinal. Cough. You're here too. I just passed by just now. I am not with those men in black, I have nothing to do with them. Fang Fan is the acting cardinal, you must trust me, if you don't trust me, I will be finished. Acting Cardinal Fang Fan, you know me. Although I've always had a bad face, I still respect Fang Fan as an acting cardinal, and I dare not slack off in the slightest. Fang Fan acts as the cardinal, it's all a misunderstanding, really, it's all a misunderstanding. Cough, cough cough cough, Saint Dongguo, why do you treat me like this? Let me go, we are both saints of the temple, we all work together. Besides, it can't be justified under the Pope's crown. Sage Dongguo, speaking of it, there is no unresolvable grievance between us. Zujdun, the third-rank saint of the Temple of the Light Alliance in the Sky Sanctuary, nodded and bowed as he spoke, and his facial expression changed in a very real way at this moment. Now at this time, I don't want to lose everything else, as long as I can save my dog's life. At this moment, Zujdun, the third-class saint of the Light Alliance Temple in the Qingtian Sanctuary, didn't even think about resisting in the past. Resisting a hammer, what should he use to resist? How big is the gap in combat power between each other? Do you really have no points in your heart? Looking at the past, it is definitely a gap. Inexplicably, people feel a sense of panic. Not to mention that Dong Qiushuo has already been promoted to the Saint Venerable realm, he has absolutely no chance of resisting, even this Fang Fan in front of him, he dare not offend him. Divine System of the Strongest Card Supplier in the End Times, Doomsday Strongest Card Supplier. Author, Shu Yu. Chapter 2920. Before, Zujdun saw everything in his eyes, but Fang Fan, who didn't seem to have a very high level of cultivation, killed Lord Wuji by his own means. Lord Wuji is an existence of the Supreme Holy Realm. As soon as he thought of this, Zuj, the third-class saint of the Temple of the Light Alliance in the Qingtian Sanctuary, suddenly had nothing to say. At this moment, I can only shrink my neck, expressing the helplessness and sigh in my heart. Thoughts gathered in the heart, and the melon seeds in the head were about to burst. The feeling of pain in my heart gradually hit, and my thoughts also took off in an all-round way. Now I can only cowardly want to save a dog's life. Hee hee. It doesn't matter how you treat me, but if you offend my brother Fang Fan. If you hadn't led the men in black this time, would those men in black have found the snow crystal plain? Would the men in black know that the snow crystal plain is my brother Fang Fan's weakness? If it wasn't for you, how could there be so much trouble? When I think of this, I'm so angry. There is such a traitor in our Temple of the Alliance of Light. Cough, cough cough cough. Dongguo, the third-rank saint of the Light Alliance Temple in Qingtian Sanctuary, took a deep breath, and then couldn't help coughing a few times, followed by streams of blood flowing down the corners of his mouth. Dong Qiushuo's complexion changed after a while, and he clutched his chest tightly, looking very painful. Brother Dongguo, what's wrong with you? Your body. Fang Fan stretched out his hand and put it on Dong Qiushuo's body. While talking, he couldn't help showing nervousness on his face. Sage Dongguo helped our snow crystal plane intercept those men in black once. At that time Dongguo Saint was seriously injured by the group of men in black, and now he should be seriously injured and has not recovered. Ymir knew the specific situation, and immediately explained from the side. Fang Fan exhaled, gritted his teeth, and looked at Dong Qiushuo with guilt. Brother Dongguo, let you worry again. Because of my incident, you have been hurt so badly. This healing card, use it quickly. Fang Fan did not hesitate at all, and directly delivered the healing card to Dong Qiushuo, and then directly used it on him in a daze. Immediately after, Dong Qiushuo's body flashed a white light, and his injuries were also recovering rapidly. Brother Fang Fan, don't worry about it, I know my injury, I need to rest. For it. Really, alright. Dong Qiushuo was stunned for a moment, and then his face showed ecstasy, followed by the change of facial expression, which was very real. Is the speed of change from beginning to end too fast? It's really unexpected. At this moment, feel it a little bit, and you will feel your mind churning. A card like this is better than any magic pill. Scary. Brother Fang Fan, I can't keep up with you. Why? I'm still getting old after all. Dong Qiushuo opened his mouth, and while speaking, he followed with emotion. It was indeed the first time for Dong Qiushuo to see these novel things. It is completely normal to feel some inexplicable sense of shock in my heart at this moment. Brother Fang Fan, thank you. If it weren't for your magical card, it would take tens of thousands of years for my old bone to be repaired. Dong Qiushuo smiled wryly, and then laughed at himself.